Counter-Strike Source Garry's Mod bundle is the first thing I bought on my Steam account back in 2010. Well, that is if you don't count Chrome and Chrome Spec Force. I don't. I'm sure a lot of you are in a similar boat. I know this is a video about Counter-Strike Source, but it and Garry's Mod went together so well back then. Perhaps the main reason being that a lot of Gmod maps required Counter-Strike Source textures, but still, they were two good games to bounce between. Gmod for when you wanted to be silly, and CSS for when you wanted to be serious. But it wasn't always serious. From Jailbreak to surfing, there was so much to do outside of just the classic game modes. On GameBanana.com, the popular modding site at the time, there are over 41,000 Counter-Strike Source maps. Most of those are from years past, though there are at least 1 or 2 new maps posted every day. Today, we're going to explore a handful of maps from the game. Just as there's something special about Garry's Mod maps and Team Fortress 2 maps, I feel like there's also something special about Counter-Strike Source maps. Let's see what they got. Welcome to Video Game World Tours. First up is FY Pool Day Reloaded by XBlaw. This is definitely an iconic map. Everyone at least tried out Pool Day for a bit. Though you might remember another version, part of what I love about Source games is the mapping ecosystem. Once someone comes up with a map concept that really grips people, they will make countless variations. Remember all the CP oranges in TF2? Only problem is, it kinda makes it hard to tell what's the original. I never like to say for certain, but I'm pretty sure Squall is the person who came up with the Pool Day concept. And that was for Counter-Strike 1.6, not even CS Source here. That's also another mapping trend for this series, remaking maps from previous games in newer ones. Maybe it's done by the original creator, maybe it isn't. FY Pool Day Reloaded isn't from Squall, someone else made this. But I'd be willing to bet more people are familiar with this one than the official remake, considering it's the 7th most downloaded CSS map on GameBanana. It's kinda interesting how your idea as a map creator can escape from you. It must be bewildering to inadvertently create a whole minor world of maps inspired by something you did. And in that chaos, one of them becomes more popular than yours. It has the vibes of a copyright-free space. People are free to throw out ideas and iterate upon the ideas of others. It's collaborative. Say, isn't this series of mine about showing off maps? I've always loved bright and colorful maps in my multiplayer shooters. Developers always make gritty, realistic maps for the base game. You can imagine a real light skirmish happening in a train yard or a nuclear facility. It's hard to imagine one happening in a space like this, though I guess it could happen. Modders have taken up the responsibility of creating goofy and fun maps that the game developers would never choose to create themselves. It's fun to just kinda bask in the silliness that is Counter-Strike in a place like this. Next up is DE Dust 2 Unlimited by CMAC. Spoilers, it's not really unlimited, but they did add some new stuff. This is another genre you see a lot of in Source Engine games, the edit. Each multiplayer Source Engine game usually has a map or two that people are endlessly fascinated with. TF2 has 2 Fort, Gmod has Construct, and Counter-Strike has Dust 2. It's interesting to see where this map's creator decided to add spaces, like how you can now go through these doors. With a bit of polish, I can imagine this existing in the original map. Though, now that I think about it, this space feels like one that just get ignored during normal matches. Multiplayer maps almost always have little bits of the map that people never really go to. Heading to the original Dust 2 for a second, how often did you ever walk up these steps and hide in this corner? Or over here? Granted, I'm not a CS pro, I don't know what spots are meta, maybe people do hide over here. But I feel like you pick up on what I'm putting down. Sometimes chunks of a map are just ignored by the player base. And while I could imagine this being included in the actual map, I could also imagine it just being kinda forgotten about. There's still so many doors left closed on this map. Wonder if there's any Dust 2 edits that open up this door. Or this one. Actually, as I was no-clipping around, I discovered a little interior here. This structure doesn't look identical to the one in the official map, but it's close enough to where your eyes just glaze over it. Or mine did, at least. You can break this wall and climb up a ladder, giving you a nice vantage point. Considering how rarely players look up in games, I could see this catching some people off guard. Through here is a long-ass tunnel that takes you through to another new section of the map. This is sniper territory, yeesh. Reminds me of the 2 Fort sewers. Down that way is Bomb Site B. This is usually a dead end. But this is Bomb Site C. Isn't that cursed? This feels like one of those dreams where your mind takes bits and pieces from places you recognize, but reorganizes them in a completely foreign way. Like, yeah, this is Dust 2, but it also isn't. This doorway leads you to here. Look, I'm sorry, I don't know the callouts. I was never that type of player. And these steps lead you back up to A. I wonder how this map plays. Because sure, it looks nice and all that, but is it balanced? How would this hold up to hundreds of players playtesting it over and over? I almost wish we could see into an alternate reality where this just is Dust 2. What would people think of it? Ooh, another interior. Very bizarre to see this. These wall textures are very much not Dust 2, but they kinda work. I don't know good multiplayer map design. Is it a smart idea to give players a shortcut through this building when they could just walk around? I can't help but think about the balance of this. People have been playing on the original for literal decades. Imagine if Valve just updated Dust 2 and Counter-Strike 2 to have all these areas. I guess that's what they kinda do with Dota 2. They've been throwing out insane map changes over there for no reason throughout the years. Just do it to Dust 2 now. Come on, Valve. While we're on the topic of Dust 2, I briefly want to show off DE Dust 2 TK by... I don't know. This is the oldest Counter-Strike source map uploaded to Game Banana, posted only 10 days after the game's initial release, and no author is credited. The screenshots on the page say, Copyright Lithuanian 3/11/2004. That date is 7 months before Counter-Strike Source's official release. Looking at the textures in this map, it's obvious these aren't the same as the ones used in the official map. There was the iconic Half-Life 2 leak in late 2003 that seemingly contained some Counter-Strike Source stuff, though I can't find out if an early version of the Hammer editor was included in that leak. I just don't know what to make of the fact that the images on the map's page have a date 7 months before the game's release, even though this map was posted 10 days after the release. It's just a weird situation. I can't make sense of it. But it is kinda crazy to be able to explore one of, if not the earliest custom Counter-Strike source map. Obviously the skybox is messed up, but I won't hold it against them. I just want to understand this map. When was it made? How was it made? What's this room behind a wall in the CT spawn? Why do you float inside of it? I just have so many questions. And sadly, we'll never get answers. We don't know who made this map. There isn't a name for them on the Game Banana page. Though it does say Copyright Lithuanian on the images. Is that their name? Or does the whole country of Lithuania claim copyright on this map? More than anything else though, I just love that I get to be here. It's beautiful that Game Banana hosts maps this old, that I can download them so easily and play them like it's 2004. That's the everlasting power of the Source engine for you. Welcome to McDonald's MDS by MDS 31781. There was such a fascination with creating real-life spaces in Source games. I guess it was probably kind of a thing in the Doom community, but in this engine, you can get a lot closer to real-life looks. It's fun to play in a space you recognize. Maybe your local McDonald's didn't look exactly like this, but it's something we can all relate to. Definitely more relatable than Dust 2. I've never been in a space like this. But I have been in a McDonald's. More times than I'd like to admit, really. Those stalls aren't nearly tall enough, my goodness. If someone's sitting down, you'd probably see the top of their head. Imagine how awkward that'd be. And there's a vent just leading outside. You could be sitting at the drive-thru here and hear someone ripping ass not 10 feet away. Of course, got the menu up here. Does that really say a hamburger was 79 cents? This map just made me sad. They left the deep fryer going and the stovetop on. Am I expected to work back here? I don't see anyone else. I'll just leave it. Not my problem. You don't get hurt standing in the deep fryer, sadly. Cute tiny office. 6M. Does that mean meters? I don't think that's quite 6 meters, or 19 feet, but maybe we're giants. And that's it for this map. There's something to be said about the proliferation of extremely small maps in multiplayer shooters. Call of Duty players love it. When I was playing the new Modern Warfare 2 and 3, I couldn't get enough of the small maps playlist. I feel like that trend was started in Call of Duty 4 with Shipment. Though I did forget about the maps from this game. I was playing maps like this in Pool Day back then. And they were of course making these kinds of maps for CS 1.6 and older games like Quake, I'm sure. The immediacy to a map like this speaks to people. They don't want to wait around for 45 seconds before getting into a firefight. They want it within 5 seconds. You could be done with a round in this map before you even see an enemy in Dust 2. It's mind-numbing playing these for too long. There's no downtime and you just endlessly have action. Melts the brain after a bit. But that's also the fun of it. It's enjoyable to hop in one of these for a bit and zone out. I don't think my local McDonald's ever had these. Our final map of the video is a classic. This style of map is part of the reason I played so much of this game back in the day. This is Surf Reloaded 10x Fixed, uploaded by Buck Nasty. Man, just booting into this and zooming around brings back memories. This is a game mode you only see in Source Engine games. Actually, I looked into it, and the developer Simon In Motion made a game called Hoverflow that's all about surfing like this. I'm definitely gonna check it out sometime. It has good reviews too. Plus it's on sale right now. Hashtag not sponsored, I promise. It just happened to go on sale while I was making this. But even if that game is super cool, there's something about the vibe of classic surf maps. They're so utilitarian. There is no fluff to this map. No decorations to make it look pretty or an interesting skybox or anything. You come to this map to surf, and that's what you're gonna get. Nothing more, nothing less. I remember seeing people maintain such speed in these maps, bunny hopping through respawn points at lightning speed. I could never do that, sadly. They'd speed by and quickscope me before I could even realize what was going on. If you fall down at any point in this map, you're put into jail. And as far as I can tell, there's no way to escape by yourself. I thought you were able to shoot the button to open the door, but maybe I'm thinking of the TF2 version. It's funny how this map creates scenarios. Like, the good players can surf along the map and get all the powerful guns, while all the less skilled players get smoked when they fall down into the jail. It creates an incentive to get better, so you can be the one doing the smoking on newer players. That's the circle of life. Games don't really have custom map scenes like this anymore. It's sad. Multiplayer shooters are so closed down now. They're afraid to let the player base take control and make their own maps and host them on their own servers. But at least we can still go back to the classics and experience them. This is peak multiplayer gaming to me. Thanks for watching, Predizens. See you all next time.